Guys, it is Tuesday, October 2nd. I cannot believe that it's October already. So I realized on my last couple videos that my orientation of my phone was wrong. I apologize. So I'm going to fix that. For all of you new people, I generally do my videos in my car while I'm driving to work because that's pretty much the only downtime I have to do it. Because when I'm at home, I'm either, tidying stuff up, getting ready for work, waking up, looking at my pennies, or whatever change I had. I generally go through the day's change before I go to bed. And then I also play on my computer game. So, the downtime I have a 20-minute drive to work, so I have enough time to kind of sit and think and focus. So, I just kind of wanted to explain that real quick. So, there's usually some blinker noises and some bouncing, but I try to minimize that as much as possible. It's a lot nicer now that this road got repaved through here because there was a lot of bouncing and potholes through here. Oh, I got sleepies in my eyeballs. So, yesterday was a good day at work. I started training one of the low volters on high volt wiring. And Friday I got certified for high volt training. So they trained me last week, and then I got certified, and then yesterday I started training other people. So one of my coworkers made a snide remark about, I wouldn't trust that. She just got certified. But he failed to know that I've been wiring panels from build to ship for 4 years. So 3.5 years before I showed up at this job, I was doing panels all the way from pulling the parts, drilling the holes, mounting the parts, wiring high volt and low volt, torquing, and then also getting it ready for shipment. The enclosures, the lights, the switches, any placards that had to go on the container, all of that stuff. I've done all of that. So, I thought it was pretty awesome that he wanted to run his mouth when he didn't know what he was talking about. But anyways, so I couldn't train it prior because I still have to have the certification through this company. They like you to only do things in areas that you're certified through them. So I had to get certified through them before I could do it. So anyway, I started training yesterday, and I worked about 2 hours and sat and watched the other 8. So that was a nice day, a nice relaxing day. Not very stressful. A little stressful because I was hungry all the time, and my blood sugars dropped. Sunday, I ate like every 2 hours for most of the afternoon. So from like 2 or 3 in the afternoon all the way till I went to sleep, I was eating like every 2 hours. And then Monday rolled along, and I got up and I had my coffee and I go to work, and about 5:45 hits, and I haven't eaten all day after I'd eaten all day the day before, and my blood sugar dropped quick. I got the shakes, the sweats, the funny sound in your ears, and I was like, oh, I gotta go get something. I gotta get a candy bar or something real quick. So thankfully, my bosses are very understanding about that. So I went and grabbed a Snickers and a cup of coffee and felt a little better after about 10-15 minutes. The shakes stopped and all that, so that was exciting. I try not to let that happen. I've kind of had food issues my whole life. My adopted mom told me that I had to be hand-fed till I was like 5 or 6 because I just don't care about food. And then as I got to about between 10 and 12, I kept passing out. And I passed out at church, and I passed out at school, and I would, so people are going, well, why is she always passing out? Someone finally said, are we checking her blood sugars? So they started checking my blood sugars the next couple times it happened, and sure enough, they were bottomed out. So then I kind of had an understanding at that age that I needed to, make sure that I was eating somewhat frequently so that didn't happen, because it's no fun to pass out. And that, helped for a long time. And then my senior year, I actually was a size 17, and I was like I don't even know how much I weighed, like 160 pounds or something. I'm 5'2". I'm supposed to weigh between like 115 and 120. And I didn't consider myself fat at all. Honestly, I didn't. But I got really busy that year. The truck next to me, sorry, I gotta interrupt my story. The truck next to me has advertised poop911.com. We scoop dog poop. Oh my God, that's hilarious. That is, I was just thinking a couple months ago that would be like a super smart thing to do as a job, because I hate cleaning up dog poop. And if I can pay somebody else to come do it for me, I'm all for it. Especially if you have a Rottweiler or something like that. My Rottweiler pooped 6 times a day, and they were like cow pies every time. That was miserable. And I only got to it on the weekends, so I would literally have like a 5-gallon bucket full of nasty, stinky dog poop by the weekend. It was horrible. I hated it. So yeah, that's kind of genius. I kind of had that idea myself. Not that I would do it, but if somebody else is willing to do it, I would definitely offer the suggestion for them to start their own company. So back to my story. So yeah, I didn't consider myself fat by any means. It's just never been a thing for me. But I was working at a grocery store. It was my senior year, so I was taking 5 or 7, I think I had 7 classes. And then my grandma's health was going downhill, so I was going to her house before school and taking care of her. And then after school, I would go back and do an afternoon shift kind of thing. And so then I got a boyfriend on top of it all. So I was just really, really busy and wasn't thinking about food. And my boyfriend and my friends and my little brother were all kind of like, you look like you're anorexic. And I was like, I'm not anorexic. Why would I be anorexic? I don't think I'm fat, And I just kept going about my daily grind and doing my thing and blowing it off. And I wasn't really realizing why they kept saying that. Well, somewhere in my senior year, I'm at home by myself. And I go to call my friend. Oh, actually, about a week before that, maybe not even a full week before that, I was at my boyfriend's house, and I stood up off the couch, and my favorite pair of pants dropped. And that was kind of my first indication that, oh, gosh, I have lost a lot of weight. But I didn't think too much of it at that point. So, fast forward again, I'm at home by myself, and I go to call a friend, and back then we had those, cordless phones, the old style, and I sat down at the dining room table as it started ringing, and I woke up on my bed with the phone still in my hand, and the timer was at 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes, and I had no idea how I got to my room, but I knew I had blacked out. So that was kind of that was not really my second red flag. That was the red flag that was oh, maybe there is more going on here than I realized. And that kind of opened my eyes that, hey, you went from 160 pounds to 113 pounds in I don't even know what time period, really, because I wasn't paying attention. And so I essentially kind of was anorexic a little bit, but not on purpose. And once I sat and started paying attention to what I had been doing, I'd been eating a piece of toast on a Tuesday, and then maybe some chips on a Friday, and then a corn dog on a Monday, that kind of thing. So I wasn't eating hardly at all. And I was like, wow, okay, that's a problem. So, yeah, my little brother and one of our really good friends came and got me from my house that day, took me and plopped me in his bed for the weekend, and he said, you're not getting out of this bed until you drink this 6-pack of Ensure, because they could see from the outside how serious it probably really was. And yeah, so from that point on, I really started paying attention to what I ate and when I ate, So I've been pretty good about it since then, because I know that I have the propensity to forget to eat, and that my blood sugars will drop and I'll pass out, which is embarrassing and inconvenient. So yeah, it was kind of I haven't had that happen in a long time. It was a, you know, oh hey. But the last 2 years, 2 years ago, I was 30 pounds heavier than I am now, and I don't know where the weight went, really, because I eat more now in my life than I ever have in my whole entire life. So I think, I know this sounds weird, because most people's metabolism slows down when they age, but I think my metabolism sped up, because I can literally eat. It's like half and half. Some days I can't eat very much because I'll get like just nauseous thinking about food, and other days I eat every 2 hours all day long. I'm just starving all day long. So that's kind of a weird thing, but yeah. So anyway, that's my long torrid story about my weight problems and eating problems and blood sugar issues. So I actually had a coworker when I mentioned to her that I needed to go get a candy bar because my blood sugars were low. And she kind of scoffed at me and was like, well, how do you know? And I was like, because I've been dealing with this issue since I was 12 years old. Yeah, so I know what it feels like. So, yeah, that was interesting. Anyway, I wasn't planning on making this long of a video. I wanted to also mention that my right back blinker went out, and I keep forgetting until I get in the car to go to work. And then I don't have time to go take care of it, which I would like to try to do it myself if I can, because that's way cheaper than taking it to a mechanic. And I also wanted to mention, golly, I don't remember. Well, I guess that'll be it for now then. So I just wanted to say hey to all the new subscribers, and thank you for subscribing. Hit that like button. Leave me some comments, because I love comments. Go back and look at some old videos that might interest you. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye.